Well, the Ontario Agricultural Commodity Council, made up of 27 non-supply and managed commodity organizations, is asking the federal finance minister to take action. Host of Real Ag Radio, Shaun Haney, joins us now for more on this. Shaun, always a pleasure. So what is the request regarding?
Yeah, great to be with you here this morning. So this is a whole discussion that feels like it's been going on for quite some time. This is not a new request, but in a letter sent in mid-April, these 27 groups under one banner are basically asking the federal finance minister, Chrystia Freeland, to remove the 35% tariff that is currently in place on Russian fertilizer coming into Canada. Now, Canada remains, and the group argues that Canada remains to be the only G7 country that still has these tariffs, or has these tariffs at all, in place. And they argue that Russian fertilizer is still getting into Canada, and it's actually going through more expensive routes to get to the country, which actually adds to the fertilizer cost. They also point out that recently the UN Secretary General recommended that all countries remove punitive tariffs on inputs coming out of Russia. Basically, the point there is trying to make sure that food costs aren't escalating because of things like tariffs on fertilizer. Even here in Canada, the House Ag Committee that is chaired by MP Cody Blois out of Nova Scotia, he is a Liberal MP, which is a part of the current government. Even his committee recommended the federal government review these tariffs that are in place.
Shaun, speak to how the tariff money was collected last year and redistributed.
Yeah, this was a big fight. So we're talking about around $34 million of tariff money was collected in 22 when the tariff was put on. It was very untimely from the standpoint, the invasion of Russia into Ukraine and the war that started. It coincided right with planting time. And so the fertilizer market in Canada, specifically in Eastern Canada, didn't really have the ability to adjust. And so farmers, basically, my fertilizer that was bought the fall prior now had to face this tariff. Recently in the federal budget, the federal government decided to put $34 million into the On-Farm Climate Action Fund. Now, this fund is going to promote the reduction of emissions, the reliance on fertilizer. This solution has not sat well. Farmers want the money directly back, and the federal government has said that's, quite frankly, not possible.
Yeah, I know they're standing by waiting to see how this plays out. Thank you, as always, Shaun. A pleasure. Host of Real Ag Radio, Shaun Haney. Catch Shaun on his Real Ag Radio show, that is. It airs 4:30 p.m. Eastern, weekdays on Rural Radio Channel 147. That's on Sirius XM. And, of course, we love having him here on the Market Day Report. Look forward to catching up with him tomorrow.